You want to start it?
I don't know. No.
You want me to start it?
Yeah.
Hi everybody! Welcome back to the Elor event planning YouTube channel. None of you watching this probably have any idea who I am because...
Yes, you do.
No, because why would you be watching an event planning, wedding planning video and know...
Because apparently there's some overlap.
Okay, there is some overlap. But for people who
Found
don't know,
overlap.
I'm Lauren, also known as Little Miss Funeral, and this is my friend, Taylor.
Hi guys, I'm
also
Taylor.
known as Elor event planning. Was that a good intro for you?
That was perfect.
Okay.
So today we're talking about the different ways that you can incorporate the memory of someone who has passed on into your wedding planning process, and different ways that you can honor their memory in the wedding, right?
Yeah, and I thought that this was such an interesting topic because when you asked me if I wanted to do this video with you, I was like, there are a lot of things that you can actually do.
There's actually a lot of ways, yeah.
And even just going to weddings myself, I've seen a lot of things, and I guess I never really put like two and two together being a funeral director and realizing all of the different ways that you can memorialize your loved ones during a wedding. So I think this is a very interesting video, and you all should stay tuned and keep watching.
I know that my couples, a lot of times when I ask them what they're most excited about for their wedding, they say that they're most excited to have everyone that they love in the same room, all their family and friends, because especially nowadays when people move away, it's hard to have the opportunity to have everyone in the same room. And so you kind of remember at that moment that there's probably people that have passed on that you can't have in that space, and you want to still remember them and make sure that everyone feels their presence.
Absolutely, and I think that, you know, personally when I got married, I had a very close family friend pass away 2 weeks before my wedding.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so sometimes, because death is very unexpected, unfortunately horrible, sad things happen during happy times in our lives as well. But in the same breath, a lot of times there are people who are so instrumental in your life, maybe like a grandparent or a parent, and they passed away years before you ended up getting married, but they still help to shape you, who you are, so you want to remember them as well.
Yeah, I lost my dad last January, and I know I think a lot about the different ways that I want to incorporate him into my wedding, even though I'm not in the wedding planning process yet, so.
But I think that's all part of what you do, you know? Like,
yeah, it's part of the grieving process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, being that you plan weddings and this is your business, obviously when something like that happened, that's one of the very first things that's going to cross your mind.
Yeah, you're like, who's going to walk me down the aisle?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
when you make a plan for that, to how you're going to do it this new way, it kind of, it starts the process of making a new normal.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a list of ways that you can incorporate the memory of your loved one.
Perfect. Do you want to start?
Sure.
Okay.
So the very first thing that you can do is you can pin a picture of them to your bouquet or your boutonniere. Or your cufflinks.
Yep, absolutely. And your florist will be happy to help you with that, for sure. Another thing you can do that a lot of people do is set up a memory table at the reception. So this can be a table that has different photos of family members arranged. I've also seen couples do photos of their past relatives on their wedding day. That's really cute.
That is really
to have generational photos on either side of the families.
I was going to say, I know we actually went to a wedding that you planned,
yes.
Where they had a memory table set up, and it was just a really cool thing to kind of see, because I think they had it set up where you put the cards and the gifts.
Yeah.
So it was like in an area where everybody's going to be going anyways, and then you could see the pictures of their loved ones who weren't with us on that day.
Yeah, it's a nice option because it's not a big, like, loud declaration. It's kind of like a passive thing.
Another thing that you can do is you can reserve a seat for your loved one who is not able to make it there, whether that is during the actual ceremony or if you have a table for them as well that's set up for the reception.
Yep.
Or both.
Yeah, and sometimes people put flowers on their chair at the ceremony to kind of add a nice touch. Another thing you can do is if a loved one's passed, that they have a recipe that they're famous for in the family. For example, if an aunt made a special cookie, you can make that cookie for the dessert table and have a little card that has their recipe, given it's not a family secret, saying that this was Aunt so-and-so's recipe and we're remembering her in this way.
I think that that's the best thing. That's something that I would have never even thought of, but like even after your meal, you know, a lot of people nowadays are bringing out additional foods or pastries
Yeah,
like
like
later on.
snacks. Yep.
Yeah, and I think that that's such a cool thing that you can do that I would have never even thought of. So
Yeah.
good job, Taylor.
Thank you.
Another thing that you can do is you can include a note on the program.
There also might be a nice opportunity within the ceremony to take a moment of reflection to remember past loved ones. This can be a group of people too, so if you have a fair amount of people you want to remember, this is an opportunity to do that as well.
This next thing is actually something that I've seen at weddings as well, and it's lighting a candle in remembrance of your loved one. And this is typically what I've seen done during the ceremony.
Yeah, you can do it at receptions as well too. So one of the things I talk to my couples about if they're not interested in doing favors is making a donation in lieu of favors. So another cool opportunity is to make a donation to a charity that mattered to your loved one, and that can be another way to honor them.
I love this one too. Because, not for anything, because everybody's wedding is different, but how many times have you gone to a wedding yourself and you have a favor and it's something that you're never going to use?
Unless it's edible, I don't.
Right? Unless it's like chocolate
Yeah.
or something like that, I love this idea. Everybody watching this should do this idea. And then the last thing that we have for a suggestion for all of you is to make things out of like your mom's dress.
Or your
Like,
grandmother's dress.
Absolutely.
Yep, you can do things like there's companies that make robes out of parts of their dresses. You can also make a wrap for your bouquet, kind of like a handle. You can also do pocket squares for your fiance if his grandmother or mother has passed. You also can make kind of like a doily to set your cake or your cake stand on top of. So just kind of think of the wedding dress as a swatch of fabric that you can put anywhere. Yeah, sometimes brides will sew them on the underside of their dress so that they're wearing their mom's dress.
Oh my gosh, I think that's awesome.
It's really cute, yeah.
Just kidding, we have a bonus one for all of you too.
You can also, if they have a favorite song, you can play their favorite song at the reception or ceremony.
I love that too. I love all of these suggestions. I think that these are such awesome things because working in the funeral industry, a huge thing that I see a lot of is people just wanting to remember their loved one, you know? I feel like a lot of people, they get not necessarily like scared. I don't know if that's the correct term, but after a funeral is all said and done, they don't want their loved one to be forgotten.
Yeah, you don't want that to be the end.
Right. On a happy day of your life, these people, like we were kind of saying at the beginning, you still want to remember them and you still want to honor them, and these are just all amazing ways that you can do that.
Yeah, and they can be really happy ways. Like
Absolutely.
The ways that don't have much sadness if you want to keep on the happy moment. And I think the other thing that's important to remember is that you can be happy and sad at the same time.
Absolutely.
So you can have your happy day and still have a
Wish that they were there too.
Yeah, it's not one or the other.
Yeah, and I think that's something just with grief in general.
Yeah,
it's not, it's not a straight road with anything.
Yeah.
It's messy and there are ups and downs in it. Anybody watching this video, if you have recently had a wedding, or maybe not even recently had a wedding, if you had a wedding where you had a loved one that you remembered and that you honor that was different from the things that we named, put them in the comment section below
we'd love
because
to hear.
we'd be very interested in that.
Mm-hmm. Or if you're planning something, tell us what you're thinking about doing. We'd love to hear that too.
Absolutely. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this girl.
And check out Lauren's channel.
Thank you if you're interested in death.
Which is basically the same thing as weddings.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Funny story.
What?
Okay, so a little bit about me. I went to school. You have to go to mortuary school. It's a real thing, okay? Mortuary school. So I went to mortuary school to become a funeral director.
Right.
And when I graduated from mortuary school, instead of working in a funeral home, I got a job in a bridal salon.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So I sold wedding dresses for a very short period of time. So it's tied.
Yeah, we're good.
We're tied together. So thank you all for watching.
Yes, thank you. Have a great day, guys.
In case you heard like noise in the background, that was If you want to see Taylor do a video about way to incorporate pets in weddings, I almost said funerals, then like this video.